Well guys, it really just doesn't get much nicer than this. Feels like spring is finally setting in. I'm gonna get out here and do a little work on the stick bow today. By the time you're watching this, this might be spread out over a couple days, because I'm at a stage now in making this bow where I'm going to start removing the wood on the belly here, tillering the bow. And that's something you want to take your time on. You really want to pay attention to what you're doing, so you're not taking too much wood off. You know, the wood that you're taking off, you want it to be in the right spots, and you really just, it's a lot of little bits of wood removal and testing, and it's slow going, but it's really important. So we're going to get set up here and we're going to start working on this bow. You can see what I've done in the meantime. Last time I was getting ready to thin down these tips, and these tips are still overbuilt, but I got the string knocks cut in there. And once I start tillering this bow and stuff, I could fine tune it and get these tips down to the finished thickness, but I have them overbuilt right now, and I'm not going to go crazy overboard. I'm going to start thinning the limbs down, but yeah, you can see the tips are in there. And right now we're going to work on these limbs to get these kind of bending as one bow. Alrighty. Okay, so I really like how my draw knife tools remove wood and keep it really smooth. If I were to chop at this, I'd have a lot of harsh marks dug in, and I'd have to smooth them out later. So I think I'm just going to keep going with my spoke shave draw knife type tools. And at this stage, when you start tillering, it's a really good idea to learn to kind of look for these rings. The camera's probably not picking it up, but if you could use them as a guide, it's really going to help you out. That way you're removing wood flat on the belly. You're kind of seeing the grain on each side, and you're not like taking off too much wood on one side. You want to remove wood flat on the belly. And so I'm gonna just take my time with this, kind of watch what I'm doing as I'm exposing the rings, and you kind of just work with this stick. When you're dealing with a really small bow stave like this, the grain is probably going to twist a little bit throughout the length of the bow. You kind of just want to go with it. The important thing is that the tips kind of line up at the end. But this bow is fairly straight. I'm just going to work with the grain, use the rings as my guide, and get these limbs starting to bend. So I'll try not to talk too much. I'll probably just keep showing you as I'm making progress as the limbs thin out. But there's not a whole lot to say. I'll just kind of show you what's happening. Alright, so maybe you could see this. Make sure this bow is kind of in the frame. Alright, so I just have this bow wedged up at the trunk of this tree. I'm just going to pad my stomach here. And once you have the bow at this stage, it's nice because you can work on it a little easier. I don't have to hold this in my feet anymore. And I'm going to be working on the belly here, and I'm going to be watching as I'm exposing these rings, and I'm just going to work with the natural twist of the stave and get these limbs to where they're starting to bend. So most of my wood removal early on is going to be around the tip area, and you always want to be careful. You don't want to remove too much wood early on down by the handle, because that's going to dictate how heavy and how strong this bow is going to be. So I usually focus most of my wood removal on the tips and then work my way down. So just going to take my time. Make sure it's picking up. Alright, Alright, so I'm in a position now where I'm not casting shadow on this. So I can really see what's happening. For me, it's a real common mistake to see kind of how this bow snakes and twists, and to kind of want to correct that. And then before I know it, I'm removing wood off to the side of my belly. Subconsciously, I'm not even realizing I'm doing it. So by following these rings the whole time, it'll keep me like right on track. So I'm working with the twist. And now I can kind of see what's happening. But I'm going to focus most of my wood removal early on down here by the tip. And that's ideally why you want as straight a stick with as straight grain as possible. Because what's going to happen now, where these limbs are kind of snaking and twisting, when I start drawing this bow, it's kind of want to stack in spots, or kind of feel like it doesn't want to draw as smoothly. So you want to get a really nice straight grain piece of wood to work with. But we'll get it. So I'm going to just work away, and I'll probably get back and show my progress along the way so I don't keep dragging this on. Getting there. This was the lower limb, so it was thicker towards the base of the tree, so it's taking the most wood removal. But you can see where we're getting. Tips are still, fairly thick. I've taken a lot of wood off so far. Like I said, that's another reason why I love stone tools. It makes me go slower than I normally would with steel tools. I just start blasting before I know it. I wouldn't realize where I am at, and I'd have a goofy stick that would probably hinge in spots and break. Your bow is only as strong as your weakest point, so if you remove too much wood anywhere in this limb, that's going to dictate how heavy your bow is going to be. So you just want to go really slow. Like I said, I usually concentrate early on most of my wood around the tip, because that's going to be what you want to bend the most. Alrighty, I'll get back with you. I haven't even started on this side really. I haven't even done anything on it yet. So, about 40 minutes, and I've taken a bit off. I really love these tools. I'm using this for most of the bulk planing, and then in spots where I have to get in, because it's a little goofier, I grab my other, more precise one, and I kind of fine tune it, and I'm using a combination of all these. This hand planer thing gets in there and smooths it out. And certain spots where the grain is starting to stack up and I can't really cut it, it's starting to get chunky, I'll get the old hand axe, and it kind of doubles as a planer in spots. I could get a chunk of wood off that I couldn't get with my lighter tools. I could kind of chop at it, and I could also smooth with a hand axe, so it kind of doubles as a smoother planer too. So, alright, I'll keep working at it. Well guys, put a good hour and a half in today. Got that limb partially thinned out. Just that one limb. The other limb's it's not as wide, so it doesn't need that much wood removal compared to this lower limb. But it's really important just to go slow until it keeps you in the right frame of mind. Take your time. That way you're not in a hurry and trying to take off too much wood, and then you goof up and end up with a light bow. So, probably pick up tomorrow, have another run at it. Alright. Alright guys, we're back at it. We got a little bit more work done on this bow. Day 2 of tillering. And I'll try not to talk as much. I'll just show you some pictures of the tools at work. We'll see how far we get. A new blade does wonders. That's the bow's first sign of life there, at least in that one limb. By doing that, you only remove a minute amount at a time. You just keep taking your lines off or your charcoal. That forces you to only remove a little bit at a time. It's really easy at this point to start taking too much wood off. Probably already did, but now you just want to go slow. Now I'm going to start working on this other limb. I mainly did most of the work to this limb. So I'm going to go start on this one. Guys, it's looking like it's about to rain, so I'll show you where I'm at. I got this lower limb thinned out to the point where it's flexing, and I don't want to remove any more wood. I want to catch this upper limb up to it. Just going to continue to thin it down the same way I did this lower one. And this video is really long right now, so what I'll do is I'll do that off camera, and then I'll pick up once I have both these limbs starting to bend, because there'll be more tillering involved, but I can get a loose string on it and see how the bow is flexing as one, and you can fine tune it from there. But It'll be the same process of thinning this upper limb, and we'll pick up from there, try to coax this into becoming a bow. Alrighty, thanks for watching.